All right, guys. Hi, and welcome to the podcast Flip the Switch of Your Life. This will be a weekly podcast that I will also upload as a video form into my YouTube channel. If you're watching me on YouTube, thank you very much for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video as well on the podcast. And YouTube, don't forget to subscribe if you're interested on the content that I'm going to start putting out weekly basis. Today's podcast is what the people who are above you aren't doing to you, don't do to the people who are below you. So that's a phrase that I've been catching from a while now, and it's talking about, right, so there's a high society, there's a mid society, and then there's a poor society or a low society. This is the way I view it. I view that the high society doesn't do bad things to the middle class, to the mid, but the mid class does do bad things to the poor society. So don't do to the people who are below you what the people above you don't do to you. Don't be mean to them. You need to treat people nice as they treat you. And I believe that in the world, and we went straight into the matters, I believe that in the world right now we have a lot of bad things going on, and a lot of people doing bad things to other people who don't deserve to be treated badly. No one deserves to be treated badly. I bet anything that in the certain time that you built your life, there were people who treat you bad. But you should have received it with a different style, meaning you should have received it and think about the positive. Okay, he's being mean because he thinks I see him. The reason why people are mean inside is because people think that you're seeing what the struggles that they're going through. No. Everybody in the world has his own reason why to be sad and why to feel bad. Everybody has it. And now is your job or your duty, or it's the way you should think, that you shouldn't do that to the other people that are already doing it to you. You should just let it fly and be happy yourself. If you're happy with what you got, if you're not happy with what you got, then what are you gonna do to change it? It's not my fault that you went bankrupt. It's not your neighbor's fault. It's not your friend's fault. It's your fault because you did something you were not supposed to be doing, and you took it above and beyond. So why do you do that? That's your decision. That was you who did that. That was your mistake. So in Flip the Switch by Cesar Suarez, we talk about this. We're going to talk about how your decisions affect you, not people's decision affect you. We need to stop looking outside and start looking inside to the problems that we have, the issues that we created. It's not your neighbor's fault that you decided not to pay rent this month. People outside, it's not their fault. It's your fault. So this is what I'm trying to say, and I'm gonna lay it down, and I'm gonna basically explain it this way. If you made a mistake, you made a mistake. No one else did. This is your mistake, and you should literally take it like that, because at the end of the day, nobody pays your rent. Nobody pays your electric bill. Nobody cares about you. So you should be the one who cares the most about yourself. My mom has a saying, which is, for me, has been important for years, which is like, if you're not gonna pay my bills, I don't want your opinion. With that said, I'm trying to tell you that stop looking outside for improvement. Stop looking outside for people to feel like you're doing the right thing. Do your own thing. Do you. That's it. Do you. Nobody else cares. Nobody else should care. The only person who should care about your life is yourself. Now, if you're married, if you have a wife, that's a different story. If you have kids, it's a different story. I don't have kids yet, but I am married and I have a wife, and this is something I tell her all the time. We need to care about us. Because everybody's doing their own thing. The whole world's working in their own way. They're doing whatever they're going to do. But we need to start caring about us and what we want for the future of our life. If we have the ability of spreading that love to other people, then we will. But at the end of the day, we need to take care of ourselves. So for me, this podcast is more as a confession to things that I want to tell myself. And I put it in a podcast because maybe you want to hear it, and maybe you if you hear it for somebody else, maybe it will help you. So this will be a weekly podcast that will be uploaded to through Anchor, which is the app that I'm going to use. It's going to be available in all the platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, everywhere. It should be available everywhere you listen to podcasts. But yeah, why aren't you doing what you need to do? Guys, if you have any questions, if you would like to talk to me about any specific subject that maybe I'm not touching in this podcast, or maybe you want me to talk about it, or maybe you have a question that you can ask me, or something, anything you would like, I'm gonna give you the email for this podcast where you can contact me, which is fliptheswitchthepodcast@gmail.com. So that email is fliptheswitchthepodcast@gmail.com. I know the title is Flip the Switch by Cesar Suarez, but you can also email me there, and I will be able to, we'll stay in contact, and we can talk about this and anything you would like. So with that said, I want to thank you very much for listening today. I know it was a short podcast. It was just an inauguration, we could say, of the podcast. I wanted you guys to see what we're going to talk about, what this podcast is going to be about. And if you have anything, if you want to say anything, just email me right there, and we can talk. We can have a conversation. I'm an open-minded person, and I'm open to any suggestions that any of you would like to give to me. Now, guys, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button on the podcast, and for sharing it with some friends if you liked it. I'll see you next week with a more detailed and prepared podcast about what we're going to talk about. Thank you, and peace.